All right, we're live. So I made it. About 4 weeks, or about 5 weeks. Sorry if I look a little disheveled. I just kind of rolled out of bed. Um, I finally upgraded. I am solo now, and the training for Swift has been great. Swift has actually done me quite a couple of solids already, and I'm very grateful for everything that's been going on. So originally, what was planned was that I was going to be on the Maine to Florida Eastern Regional Fleet. It was 55 cents per mile. I actually got on a dedicated account right off the jump for 80 cents a mile doing the Northeast Regional Fleet. And I like it. I'm running the same account that my mentor was on, and considering that I was hustling and, I like to work and I like to run, and I save my playing for my play time, and, my rest time is my rest time. They wanted me on, and they knew that I was trained good, and I'm very grateful for what's been going on here. This account, I get to go home every weekend, so even my trainers were surprised, like the qualification leaders and everything. They were surprised that I was going to be on this account. So I got a good deal going here, so I'm very grateful. I guess you could say it's kind of an anomaly. Not every Swift driver immediately goes on an account like that, but my mentor wanted me to be able to go home to see my kid often, and he wanted to recommend me to his account, and they brought me on. So it's been awesome. I'm very happy with how everything's been going. With training, the first week was very simple. It was basically just me. Got to sit in the driver's seat for the first week while I get observed, and then after that first week, if the mentor is comfortable with you driving while he's sleeping, then they team with you. So the first week I had a bunch of different opportunities to practice parking and see a lot of the different areas that we run on this account, how things go, how to do comm checks, how to do all sorts of the normal logistics with the tablet, and I pick up on that stuff pretty easy. Once I got my hands on it and I'm forced to do it, especially being solo. Now that I'm really thrown out to the wolves, you pick up on it way easier. So it's a good feeling knowing that, like, I'm actually getting it now, especially when I'm forced to, because even though my mentor says I can call him anytime, and I do whenever I have questions, but it's nice to know that, like, I'm finally, like, getting with everything, and I like to do that. And I have my own electric kettle that I brought with me since I got to stop home when I got my truck. And now I can make my own coffee, and I don't have to sit here and always buy coffee whenever I'm out. So teaming was also a very interesting experience. I can sleep in the truck while it's moving. It's not really too big of a deal, but man, some of these areas around, especially like New Jersey, New York, there's a lot of bumps in the road. So I mean, you end up going airborne sometimes when you're sleeping, but it is what it is. A lot of times I got pushed into driving at night because of a couple different stops. Like, we had to go to Anheuser-Busch 3 days in a row, and it was just a minimum of 3 hours just waiting in line or something going wrong every single time we were there. It's actually crazy. There was a couple times where I was getting very tired, and I got to actually feel how that feels. I've driven when I was tired before, but when you're trucking and you're really tired, like, it hits you totally different. I can definitely say that. They call it the Black Dog. I know they also made a corny movie out of it, but when you start seeing stuff on the road, and that happened to me. The no U-turn sign was coming, and I look at the no U-turn sign, and it turned into the head of an owl, and then it looked at me, and then morphed back into a no U-turn sign. I kid you not. So that's when I went, oh, no, and I pulled over as soon as the next rest stop was only a couple miles away when that happened, and I pulled in, and my mentor woke up. He's like, oh, but do we make it? I said, no, man, we still got about 70 miles to go. I'm seeing shit. And the lines were crossing in the road. Like, I was really trying to make it, but I know my limits, and when I have not ever hallucinated like that before. So yeah, when that happened, I told him about it. He started laughing, and he's like, all right, go to sleep, and it's funny now, but at the time, man, I was panicking because I wanted to do good. I wanted to make sure that we were like getting to our destination, that I was, you know, showing them that I'm not trying to, you know, be late to anything. But we had an open window for the most part, so I was kind of doing too much, and then I realized what it looks like when I push myself, and you know, that's not going to be happening again. I'm definitely a person who likes to wake up with the sun and go to sleep when it gets dark. I don't like running at night. Like, I don't mind driving at night. It happens all the time, but I really just don't like driving at nighttime. I think people just start driving really stupid, really weird. I mean, even last night. Right now I'm in Massachusetts. I was coming from Pennsylvania, and it took a 7.5 hour drive. It turned into almost a 9+ hour drive because of all the rain, and then it started to snow last night. And it's like everybody just wanted to. You can't, when you enter Connecticut, on I think the 84, the lines in the road are not painted brightly enough. You cannot see the road when it's raining. I cannot stand driving through Connecticut in the bad weather, but it is what it is. I made it, and you know, I drive safely. I drive slower when it happens, but that's what ends up, you know, making you a little take that's what makes you, you know, take longer with the trip. And unfortunately, right now I'm on my 10-hour break again because I got here at about 11 o'clock last night, and I shut down, and I had to deliver at 6:30 in the morning. I called them at 5, and they said, "Oh yeah, here's your door. You know, you can back in there." And I crept around, but I must have popped over 5 miles an hour, and I tripped my ELD, and it basically resets my entire brake all over again because it put me in violation. And there's nothing they could do, even though I'm on their private property. I just said, you know what, it's not fine. So my next load, it's an open window. So once in about an hour and a half, I'll get to leave, and then I'll go and pick this up. I'll drive till about 9 or 10 o'clock at night, shut down, and then start back up again in the morning. And you know, it is what it is. I'm losing a little bit of mileage, you know, as far as money goes, but hopefully I can make it up. I mean, you know, a little bit of a rookie mistake, I guess. I tried to stay under 5, but I probably just tapped it a little too hard at one point. And yeah, if you go over 5 miles an hour, it trips your ELD, and that's a wrap. And you can't do yard move if you're already in sleeper berth. If you're off duty, yard move does not work. I probably could have used PC for it, but I didn't want to ruffle any feathers for that because you're really not supposed to use PC in advance of the load. But considering it was on private property, it probably would have been fine. So next time I'll probably just do that, and we'll go from there. But honestly, training was great. I got along with my mentor really well. You know, I think I said before, I asked for someone who was older than me, and I'm about 40. I'm turning 40 this year. They gave me somebody who's, you know, got about a decade on me, and we got along really well. I drove him crazy with my heavy metal every once in a while, but you know, I told him I would have changed the music if he wanted me to, but he didn't say nothing. Then he's like, "Oh, I don't have to listen to that screamy shit that gives me a headache." I'm like, "You could have just told me," but it's all good. So yeah, I got my own truck. I actually have an Abilene truck. It's green, the color of money, and that's the way I like it. It's kind of funny how I was able to pick this truck out because the day I was back at the terminal to qualify, it was already after 5 o'clock, so all the leaders left, so I had to wait till the next day. And they said, you know, I can work on trying to get you a hotel, or you can just sleep in one of our trucks that are available. And I said, you know what? I've been sleeping in a truck for 3 weeks straight. I'll take a truck tonight. It's fine. I don't need a hotel. So this way, they gave me a list of all the available trucks, and I thought, this is my sly way now to check out the trucks before I even get offered a truck, to see which one I like the most. And if I can't sleep in it at night, or if I don't like it, I could choose something the next day. So there was a couple 21s. There was a Freightliner and a Volvo, both 2021s. I didn't like them. They had stains on the seat and stuff like that. And if anyone's going to put nutsack stains on the seat, it's going to be me. I'm good. I don't want to be dealing with other people's old stains. However, there was a 24 Volvo, which was the green Abilene truck, because Swift acquired everything from Abilene, so it's all our equipment now. So they just put their logo on the side of the trucks, but they're not going to repaint them. So I like having the green truck. I think it's a good green. and has no damage. It's got a push bar, and it looks very clean, and it was clean on the inside. Leather seats. It's got all the stuff with Volvo. I'm not too huge of a fan of Volvo, but I will say like some of their comfort stuff is really nice. I was driving the 26 Kenworth for a month, and I liked that truck, but man, that seat was so uncomfortable, and I don't like the dashboard. I don't like dashboards that, if they're completely digital, it's fine, but if the screen is white or like bright blues, that kind of affects your melatonin at night, and something was going on with his truck where it doesn't let you dim the dash. So every single time that, if you're driving at night and it's dark and you quickly look down and see, okay, what's my speed, and then look back up, you got that eye flash of the whole entire dashboard in your face when you're trying to see the road. And that was, especially when you were kind of getting like tired, it really starts to mess with you. So I like analog dashes when it comes to that, like a little bit better. I know the new Peterbilts, their dashboards are more of a, it's like an amber, which is better for your eyes at night. So that's kind of smarter on their behalf. So when I do ever get a chance to get a brand new truck, I'm probably going to go with the Pete. But for now, I really like this 24 Volvo. It's nice, it's comfortable. It wasn't dirty in any way. I got all my stuff in it. Got my food in the fridge. The fridge is a nice size. And, I don't really need a microwave, so I try to just use the microwave space to just kind of like store like my duffel bag that has my clothes. And when I get the chance, I'll probably throw a TV in there that I can like just kind of like screencast from my phone, just that way I don't have to stare at my phone when I lay down. I can just like look up at the TV, and then that'll be fine. I don't really need too much TV or entertainment or anything. I have a Nintendo Switch with me for like, off times or something like that if I really need it. But a lot of the times when I'm on my break, I just rest. I feel way better after getting a really good long rest and then driving, and then, I feel great. Again, Swift has done me really well with all this. There was a couple times where, it took 5 weeks because 1 week I had to take off because my mentor took off. And that was fine. I got to hang out with my family after 2 weeks. It was kind of like a long break in between, so it was fine. I didn't get paid for that week, but I was financially okay to take that hit. And I'm only getting maybe about like $540 take home. You get the $650 training pay a week. After taxes, it's about $5 and change. And then, after all the teaming, I had about 30 hours left on my log, and I said, hey, listen, I'll run till Friday and just go home if that's fine. And they said, yeah, it works. That works for us. So that way now on my next, I got to make sure this guy doesn't hit me. On my next paycheck, there's going to be a couple days of training pay, and then the loads that I did, even the run I did yesterday on Sunday. I like to come in on Sunday because you get paid from Monday in the morning, midnight, to Sunday at midnight. So if you go out and run that Sunday and do like a long run, and you arrive at your shipper, you get paid for those miles that day. So that will actually go on your last check. So kind of it's a little bit extra money, and it's a nice thing to have. So yeah, I survived. I made it. I'm at Swift. I'm a Swifty, but I'm doing pretty damn good so far. I'll let everybody know how it goes with the... What is this guy doing? He's making me nervous. Never mind. You're going to forget this a lot where you're in the middle of something. If you're new and you haven't started driving yet, you're going to get this sort of thing where you're in the middle of something, and then all of a sudden it's going to be you're getting totally distracted by somebody parking next to you, and it can get a little nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't want nobody hitting my my nice green truck that has no scratches or dents or anything. Whoever had this truck at Abilene before me, I salute you. You took good care of your truck. I know some guys were commenting on my last video saying like, "Oh, you're selling yourself short and everything." It's like, you gotta give it a chance. You know what I mean? Like, there's no one's going to fuel right after getting their CDL. I'm sorry, no one's giving you keys to a bomb. Don't let anybody tell you that that's going to happen unless you literally know somebody who is totally fine with paying your incredibly high insurance rates. It's not going to happen. You're not getting keys to a giant bomb in your first year. At least, definitely not out of school. Maybe in your first year after 6 months if a company is desperate, but you are not getting fuel jobs or anything like that. Like, I was lucky to get a Class B job like I had, but like I said, I was losing more money than I was making, so there was no point. And I'm like, well, if they're not going to let me drive tractor trailers in a year, if they say I can't drive a tractor trailer for a year, why am I going to do, like, in a year I'm still going to have no experience? Then that's actually hurting me more, because I had companies literally calling me and telling me, oh, sorry, you haven't driven in 3 months since you went to school, so we can't take you. Well, yep, that's a problem. So Swift, brought me in. Their training was excellent. They put me with a really good mentor, and I think that's what matters the most. You have to have a mentor that's actually, like, been in the game long enough that is going to do well for you. If anybody wants to see anything or ask any questions when it comes to Swift, I'm more than happy to answer. I know they get a bad rep with a lot of stuff. Like, I've seen, trust me, in the month that I've been out here, I've seen a lot of Swift drivers, okay? Funnily enough, I never seen any Swift drivers before I started driving for Swift. And then now that I work for Swift, I see them everywhere. And man, I have seen some wacky, wacky stuff that other drivers have done. And you can't defend it. You can't defend it. I've been to a couple places by myself already where I had a hard time backing in, kind of tight, but I never have had a situation where I'm like, I'm stuck, I need help. Or, I've seen videos of where a guy has to get into the truck and park it for him. Not happening. But I've seen guys that look like they've been doing this for decades and they can't park. So I'm vindicated a little bit when something like that happens. I mean, my very first load, I had to take it somewhere where they only had very small diagonal loading bays, and you can only blindside. That was my first dispatched load. Anyway, that's about it. I'll try to update some stories that I had from training. I had a couple really good ones. And again, if you have any questions, please leave me in the comments. You can subscribe if you'd like. If you want to see any kind of content, let me know. I'll do my best. I'm not really, like, flying out here like I'm the content creator or nothing like that. Like, I'm just doing this on the side when I have nothing but time to kill for a little bit, and I do what I do. So I'm going to finish this coffee out, probably make me another one and drink it when I am ready to drive here and head my way back to Pennsylvania. Thank you guys for hanging on, and I'll see you in the next one.